Hello, my name is Arthur Kot and I work at X5. You can check our website at x5.co. My hobby are games and animations, and you can see some of them playing in the background. And today I would like to talk about GSAP, my favorite JavaScript animation library. But just before this talk, I would like to show you a little animation I made with GSAP. And it's done. Hope I hope you enjoyed it. So the thing is, I used GSAP to create it, and also I will refer to some of this animation parts later in this talk. So let's go back to GSAP itself. The library has been made by Jack Doyle, and it started as ActionScript library, and currently it's maintained in JavaScript. It consists of two core scripts, which are Twin and Timeline. And they both come in light and max versions. The light versions, they offer you less options, but you will get smaller file weight. And the max versions, well, they will offer you more possibilities, but you'll pay with bigger file size. GSAP's main job is to twin numeric values. This is basically what it does at its core, and it does it really good. It's really similar to what CSS transition do, or jQuery does, or what jQuery animate does. They all do the same. They twin numeric values like width or height. But there's one thing that GSAP is much better at. It is much better at managing complex twins. And I mean like long animations or some complicated user interface animations. This is where GSAP really shines. GSAP works on object properties, and it means that you can pick up any object, just put it inside inside GSAP, and it will be able to animate its properties. I think a good example would be a div that you can select from document object model, and then you would be able to animate its width or a color. Let it be a background color or a text color. GSAP is able to do it. This simple fact that GSAP works on object properties makes it really easy to integrate with any other library. It can be 3JS, which works in WebGL context. It could be Canvas, like bare Canvas. You would have to, of course, add some support to to animate object properties, but it's absolutely possible. The same goes for SVG and HTML. The next thing I would like to outline is that GSAP is really performant. You can be sure that it won't stand on your way to reach 60 FPS in your animation. Even more important for a performance may be the technology choice. For example, if you animate in Canvas 2D or 3D context, or HTML or SVG. This is really one really important thing. And the next thing is that GSAP won't magically make your animation faster if you use some complex particle effects or advanced shaders. Basically, you just have to look out for some effects that are more expensive performance-wise. And it applies especially to mobile devices. When you work with GSAP, it's really hard to hit a wall. It has extensive API. It offers many plugins, both first and third party, and some quick examples. Morph SVG plugin allows you to morph SVG shapes. Scroll Magic allows you to attach your animations to a scroll bar. And CSS plugin allows you to interact with document object model and animate, well, let's say regular divs and paragraphs and and headers, basically HTML elements. But well, it's really great, but nothing is perfect. And first of all, the library is not free. I can see your sad faces here. but but it's not that bad, really, and I'll talk about more about it later. And the next thing is that GSAP can be quite heavy. For example, if you would like to use GSAP just to animate a simple button, to animate a background change on hover, it doesn't make any sense because you are ordering around 40 kilobytes of JavaScript just to do this simple thing. So, all in all, it's not that bad because for the licensing stuff, it's only paid if you would like to resell your product. For example, if it's a game and you would like to resell it to many customers. Same goes for apps which can be subscribed, things that generate constant income for you. In many cases, you'll probably develop like a WordPress theme and you'll sell it just to one client. And in this case, GSAP is free. And then file size. First of all, it really pays off because you don't really want to use GSAP to animate simple things, as I mentioned before, but it's for really advanced stuff. Let's say like few seconds animations with many characters, or maybe some complex UI animation with many events, callbacks that you like to connect to the rest of your application. Then when it really pays off. I would just like to add that I've got nothing against paid software, especially when it gets constant updates and it's a quality stuff, just like GSAP is. Basically, when something is worth it, I'm glad to pay for it, and this is how it is in this case. And now it's time to talk about probably my favorite feature of GSAP, and this feature timelines. They are great because thanks to them you can easily control your animation, like rewind, forward, pause it. You can easily persist state of the animation. Timelines make organizing large project really easy. They really help. Let's say you've got animation longer than 10 seconds and you can easily split timelines into smaller chunks. Here's an example of a part of a timeline where you can see what it really is. Basically, it's a sequence of transforms. Here you can see I animate rotation, Y value, opacity, and so on, and so on, and so on. They are really close, a bit closer to CSS than to programming because they don't have much logic inside. They are really just a sequence of transforms. They don't make any problems in case you'd like to add some crazy particle effects or some advanced responsive behavior. Then you are free to add your ifs and elses and loops inside them. That's not a big problem. I said before that timelines can be separated into smaller chunks, and that's cool. But what's even cooler that you can nest those chunks inside bigger chunks, and those bigger chunks inside even bigger timelines, and that makes possible to do things like this. This example is taken straight from the animation you saw at the beginning about Mr. Triangle, and you can see a master timeline where I separated the whole animation into a smaller chunks, scenes, let's call them scenes, and added them to the master timeline. It makes really easy to manage larger animations. Now you know that you can separate the project into many small timelines. So you probably think, okay, so I could just add script tags in in my page and just make it work. It's of course it's possible, but it can be even better because GSAP works perfectly well with both AMD and CommonJS, and that means that it works nicely with Browserify, Webpack, and other package bundlers. If you animate on timeline, you should stick to the timeline. At the beginning, in one of the first of my animations, I made a mistake. I thought it was smart to animate outside of the timelines some random effects, like some particle effects or character blinking eyes randomly. And I thought, oh, it's pretty cool, and it adds some randomness to my animation. But then quickly I found out that I just lost control over my animation.
in this example, like you can see that I'm moving the slider, the wrench slider back and forward, and I can easily see the current state of the animation, and it was lost. The bottom line is, if you're animating with timelines, just stick to them and it will really pay off for you, because you won't lose control over your animation, and it will be much easier to work on it. So that's all, and thank you for watching. Make games and animations because they are really cool.